Hello and welcome to Miss Charlotte Astrology. My name is Charlotte. I'm a full-time working astrologer, and on this channel I analyze the astrological charts of public figures, and very often they are celebrities, and that certainly will be the case today, as I'll be analyzing the chart of a relatively famous actor. His name is Justin Baldoni, and he is very newsworthy at the moment. So Justin made a movie a few months ago with Blake Lively. Blake got into a lot of hot water during that period. It was a Virgo Mercury retrograde. It was a Virgo Leo Mercury retrograde, and she was promoting a film. And yeah, all these clips of her being rude to her co-stars from Gossip Girl, or being rude to journalists for other press junkets in the past, all came back to haunt her. So karma slapped her in her pretty face. But she got a lot of shit, and then after the film came out, she laid low. She's been very quiet the last couple of months, up until a few days ago, where she filed a complaint, which I guess is the first step to, towards filing a lawsuit against Justin Baldoni, accusing him of unprofessional behavior, of sexual harassment. He apparently would improvise intimacy scenes. This is not the 90s. This is post-Me Too, post-Harvey Weinstein world right now. What a fucking idiot if he did that. So yeah, he looks bad. Don't get me wrong. She is not the easiest to work with. She's not an angel either, but she doesn't deserve that. That's nasty. I just imagine being an actor and having someone in your personal space like kissing you and you don't like them. I could never do that. But yeah, she's made him look bad. It's his turn now. So what I wanted to do here was have a look at his chart and try and figure out what is wrong with this guy, and could it be true? Before I dive in, I just want you guys to know that I have readings open in January. There are still quite a few slots left. They are filling up quickly. I only do it once in a blue moon. So if you would like to meet me and have your chart read by me, you can do that in January. And there are, if you are a member of one of my YouTube members, you get a pretty nice discount on it. So all the links are below. YouTube members get a decent discount, and it'll be fun. It'll be fun to meet you. Everything's recorded, so you don't have to worry about remembering everything I say. You're going to get a little file sent to your email, a little recording of our reading together. And if you don't want to meet me on 60-minute Zoom because you have social anxiety, which a lot of people do, you can order a 15-minute recorded reading. It's just a recording of my voice analyzing your chart. I do that for synastry chart, individual chart readings, transits, solar return. And then I also have a 5-minute focus reading for something really specific. So if you've got an issue in your life and you would like some insight on it using your chart, I can do that as well. So it's the best way to support me, and I really appreciate it. And if you can't do any of that, please like, subscribe, comment, help me with the algorithm. I just hit 5,500 subscribers on here, so thank you so much for that. It's wonderful. I didn't expect that this week. It's been really Capricorn season has been very kind to me. Thank you. All right. That was the word from our sponsors, me. Okay, so let's have a look at Justin Baldoni's chart. He is an Aquarius sun. Right there, Aquarius sun. And then he's got a moon and Mars conjunction in Scorpio, along with Pluto and Saturn. So that's a stellium. That's difficult. And then he's got a Venus in Sagittarius with Neptune, outer sign conjunction with Neptune and Jupiter. And of course, Uranus is not too far away. And a Mercury in Capricorn. And of course, a Virgo rising. He does not look easy to work with. Blake is not easy to work with, but he's especially not easy to work with. I do think that he is, I reckon he could be quite charming when he likes you. When he's the boss of everything, I think I think he does really well when he's the head honcho and he has full control over a project and he can hire and fire. I think he's a lot easier when he can be the boss. I don't think he does well under the thumb of other people. Blake Lively was a producer. The producer has more power than the director. So, yeah, and I reckon he's got a bit of a temper tantrum problem. He's got Sun squaring his Moon and Mars conjunction. Okay, so if you've got your Sun and your Moon squaring off at war with each other, the ego and the emotional processing is not they're not aligning very well. The things that feed his ego will very often lead to emotional upset. The things that fulfill him emotionally will lead to his ego feeling starved. I think he's someone with a lot of emotional intelligence. I think that he has gone to hell and back. Scorpio placements tend to do that. And I think he's capable of empathy. But I also think he can be an egomaniacal crazy person. Like he's got all these qualities. A square is a contradiction. So, he also has that Mars squaring his Sun. If he's sexually irresponsible or he loses his temper, it's going to cause him disgrace. The Sun is what's visible. Okay, and it's also, his Sun is in a very visible sign. It's in Aquarius. It's in his 5th house of creativity, but it plays into his 6th house of work. If he loses his temper, if he's emotional, it will cause problems for his name, his reputation, his money, it's a lot. Him being vindictive, him being rude, him being emotionally manipulative, if he gets into his dark Scorpio shit, it's going to cause him problems with his work. I'm just having a look at the aspects here. Pluto's also squaring the Sun. Does anybody know anything about him feeling like a reject or not fitting in? Like, it's very insecure. He seems very insecure. This is the thing with people with I'm not a doctor. I can't diagnose people, obviously. But you know when people are so overconfident or narcissistic, it actually comes from a place of deep insecurity as well. Like, he's got these delusions of grandeur, but it comes from feeling unloved or rejected or not enough. That Pluto with the Moon and the Mars and the Saturn, there's trouble with his family. There's trouble. And that has led to that emotional dysregulation. And the square with the Sun, just, I've got to be the genius. I've got to be a high achiever. I've got to win. I've got to prove them wrong. I've got to show the world that I am successful. That's a really harsh Aquarius Scorpio square. My assistant Sarah, because we were talking about the weekend. The weekend is a Scorpio Sun. The weekend is an Aquarius Sun Scorpio Moon, and when we looked at his chart, we were like, "Oh my God, he thinks he's God." And I have a really good friend with an Aquarius Sun with a Scorpio Moon. Lovely girl, lovely, love her to death. But it's a bit of a God complex for sure. They're two very powerful, chaotic signs. So, and the square is a bit dysregulated. There's trouble with emotions, with anger, especially with the Mars there. He also had does anybody know what happened in his home? Did he have to move house a lot when he was a kid? There just doesn't seem like a lot of routine or stability with his home life. I'm not suggesting that he wasn't loved or anything like that. Maybe he was coddled too much. I'm not sure, because Scorpio placements be too close to their mama. But or sometimes it's you can be too close to your mum. It can also be a toxic relationship. But yeah, it's Uranus on the IC. plays into the 4th house. It just seems like maybe he moved a lot. It seems like his home was a revolving door of people. I also think he could have been exposed to really forward-thinking ideas. Sometimes Uranus in the 4th house is a very intellectual family. Maybe they're incredibly cold, but they're very intellectual people that can play out that way. He does have Venus in the 4th house, which is nice. I don't know if he grew up wealthy necessarily. I don't know. I mean, but sometimes it can indicate like a pretty abundant household, but it's still chaotic. What's going on here? Part of fortune's here as well. If his family loved him and took care of him, and I do think he was exposed to some pretty zany ideas as a child. It's still dysregulated. It doesn't look that stable. Venus and Neptune in an out of sign conjunction along with Jupiter. I think he's got a philosopher's heart, but he has some dark secrets. I think he really struggles with its addictions. Venus is beauty. If you got Neptune in a conjunction with any of your personal planets, definitely prone to an addiction. With Venus, it's like beauty. He has talked about porn addiction. He also, in an article, my friend sent me this, he talks about an obsession with his body, with his physical appearance, so that could also be perceived as a bit of a drug, a bit of an addiction. I do also think with this conjunction, there could be either he is, maybe it's both of these things, loves without boundaries. Like he loves his wife and he loves his family. He's got Venus in the 4th, but there's also the chance that he could be deceiving them. And if you love without boundaries, I can cheat on my wife and still love her. I love her so much, but I have needs. Like they can love without boundaries can go so many different ways. I'm not saying that he cheats on his wife. I'm not, but I'm just looking at that Neptune and that Jupiter, and he seems to have an insatiable appetite for validation. Yeah. He's got to look good. He's addicted to his own beauty even. So yeah. But he has some great qualities. He's highly intelligent. But he's also I think he's also emotionally intelligent, which makes him a really good manipulator, potentially. I kind of like him. Like, there's part of me that also quite like, I reckon if I met him, I'd really enjoy his company, and I think he'd make a really great conversationalist, and I think he'd have some really great ideas. Like, he is an artist. He should be an artist. He should be a director. He should be an actor. These are some crazy placements. He needs an outlet for these things, but unfortunately, if he tries to make himself fit into a box and he has got to cut off pieces of himself, he's still going to bleed through the box. He bled through the box. Everybody saw who he was on that film set. He couldn't contain himself. He lashed out. Maybe he tried to hide it for some time, but he lashed out and he pissed some people off, and people saw who he was and they didn't like what they saw. The transits that are going over his 7th house. So Saturn is in a conjunction with its descendant, which is trouble with relationships. His platonic relationships, his professional relationships, his romantic relationships will all be looked at very thoroughly. There's going to be some changes. This is a rough patch in his marriage for sure. The North Node moving through here, there's going to be more stuff coming out about his interactions with people. This looks hard. Saturn in the North Node, that's a lot of malefic energy. Neptune's also been sitting here for quite a while. If he has been dishonest, if he's cheated people, if he's been mean to people, if he's been abusive, that's going to come out. It's going to hurt him. Also, the South Node, the North Node moving into Pisces will mean that the South Node moves into Virgo, and Virgo placements have to learn to let go. Virgos love to hold on to things so tightly. They dig their little nails into things, especially when people try to run away from them. They would love to dig in, don't they? They will do anything to keep that person there if they don't. Why do you Virgo placements love to keep people around that fucking hate you? but you throw away people that adore you. Like, ugh, anyway. Virgo placements. If you have your nails stuck into something in the hope that it won't run away from you, it's going to get snatched off you and you're going to lose those nails. It's going to be painful. Let things go. The South Node moving through a sign. If you've got placements in the sign of where the South Node is, it means that you're going to have sped up spiritual evolution, spiritual progress, which means when it comes through losing something. And for Justin, well, he's got a Virgo rising. The rising sign is the self identity. It's one of those. It's the house of identity. It's your face. He's going to lose face. And he's going to be mending fences, but also burning some bridges during this period. And he's going to lose face. It's going to be a bit humiliating, actually. But if he owns up to everything and he apologizes, he's going to be fine. But we'll see what happens. Yeah. Good luck. It's a shame because I feel like during his nodal return, I feel like he had a lot of successes. That was around the pandemic. Like, I think is that when he started his podcast? It seems like during his nodal return, it was very fruitful and it continued up until quite recently. The North Node in Aries has been in the 8th house. Yeah, that's not an easy transit. He doesn't have anything in Libra or Aries, so I guess it's not been too bad. This is going to hurt. That North Node. And Lilith is here. Oh, if he's been mean to women. Lilith is the dark feminine goddess energy. Having that malefic play into your 7th house, and I know it's in the 6th, but it plays into the 7th. If he's pissed off some bitches, they're coming for him. They're going to set him on fire. Yeah. Guy's messy. The guy's difficult. I will say, though, out of the two of them, I probably enjoy him a bit more. Because he's super smart. He's very philosophical. Anyway, good luck, Justin. Good luck. Guys, that's all I have for you for Justin Baldoni. What do you think about him? Do you like him? I like him. I can just see his shit. That's all. I can just see his shit. I can understand why. I can understand why him and Blake didn't get along. She's a control freak. He's a control freak. There's some things here. I swear to God, if she was single and she wasn't with Ryan and she had no kids, this would be a different situation because there's a lot of passion here. He gets under her skin. And if she wasn't with Ryan, maybe this would be a more enjoyable synastry, but they hate each other. They could have loved each other. Maybe at some point they really did enjoy each other and then it just turned to contempt. Anyway, thanks so much, guys. I'll see you in the next reading and yeah, bye.